Mia Bennett moved in next door when we were 7. She showed up in our yard holding a plastic bucket and said, "I found worms. Do you want to see?" I said yes. That was it. That was the whole beginning. For the next 9 years, she was just there. Every summer, every school bus, every scraped knee. I didn't notice when friend turned into something else. It just did, quietly, the way seasons change. I remember the exact night it became real. We were 16, sitting on my roof, and she turned to me and said, "If you don't kiss me right now, I'm going to be really annoyed." Annoyed how? Ethan. So I kissed her. And for 3 years after that, I thought I knew exactly how my life was going to go. My brother Daniel wasn't as sure. "You two are basically married already," he said once, watching us from the porch. "That doesn't scare you?" "Why would it scare me?" "Because you've never dated anyone else. You don't know what you're choosing her over." "I don't need to know that. I know her." Daniel just shook his head like he knew something I didn't. I ignored him. What did he know about it? He'd never had anyone look at him the way Mia looked at me. Then came the night before she left for college. "It's 4 hours away," she said, gripping my hands like she could keep herself in place. "That's nothing. It's something. I'll call every day. I'll text you good morning, good night, everything in between. I'm not going to disappear, Ethan. I promise." "You promise?" "I promise I'm coming back for you." I believed her. I believed her the way you believe the sun is going to rise. Not as a hope, but as a fact. The calls came every day, just like she said. For a while. Then every day became every other day. Every other day became, "Sorry, crazy week." Good morning texts turned into good morning texts sent at 2 in the afternoon. Then 1 in the morning. Then not at all. I told myself she was busy. I told myself college was hard, that new people take up new space, that this was normal. I did not tell myself the truth, which was that I was checking my phone 40 times a day like it was going to save me from something. "You okay?" Chris asked me once, watching me stare at a blank screen for the 3rd time in an hour. "You've checked that thing more than a security guard checks cameras." "I'm fine." "You said that with your whole face doing something that wasn't fine." "Drop it, Chris." He dropped it. That's what Chris did. He pushed once, and if you shut the door, he let you keep it shut. I loved him for that, even when I hated myself for needing it. She hasn't called in 5 days. I told my grandma, sitting at her kitchen table, spinning a mug I wasn't drinking from. Grandma Ruth didn't look up from her crossword. "I know. She's just busy." "I know that's what you keep saying." "You don't believe me?" She set her pencil down then, and looked at me the way she used to look at me when I was small and about to touch something hot. "Ethan, baby, how long are you going to keep setting a plate for someone who stopped coming to dinner?" She said she's coming back. People say a lot of things at 18. Doesn't mean they mean them at 19. So what? I just give up on her. "You don't give up on people," Grandma Ruth said. "You give up on waiting rooms. There's a difference." I didn't understand what she meant. Not then. I was too busy refreshing a phone screen that had gone quiet the way a house goes quiet after someone dies in it. Not all at once, but room by room, until you're standing in the last one, and it's silent too. The last text I ever got from Mia, before the years of nothing, said this: "Things are just really complicated right now. I need space. I'll explain everything soon." She never explained anything. Soon never came. I waited a year telling myself soon was still coming. I waited a second year telling myself I was being patient, not pathetic. By the 3rd year, I stopped telling myself anything at all. I just stopped. "You look better," Grandma Ruth said to me. Maybe a year after that, watching me laugh at something on my phone that had nothing to do with Mia Bennett. Better than what? Than a man setting a plate for a ghost. I laughed, because it was true, and because it didn't hurt anymore to hear it. That was 4 years ago. I'm 27 now. I have an apartment I actually chose, a job I'm good at, a life that doesn't have a Mia-shaped hole cut into the middle of it. I go to dinner with Chris on Fridays. I let my niece beat me at checkers on Sundays. I sleep fine. I don't check my phone 40 times a day anymore, because I stopped waiting for it to save me a long time ago. I thought that chapter of my life was closed. Sealed. Done. Then, on a Tuesday afternoon, doing absolutely nothing important, my phone buzzed with a number I didn't recognize. "I'm back. Can we talk?" I stared at it for a long time before I understood who it was. Not because I didn't recognize the words. Because some part of me, a part one thought I'd buried, recognized them instantly. My thumb hovered over the screen. For years of silence. And she picked today, out of nowhere, to break it. I didn't answer right away. For the first time in my entire life, Mia Bennett was finally going to have to wait on me. I told Daniel about the text before I told anyone else, mostly because I needed someone to tell me I wasn't crazy for agreeing to meet her. "You're meeting her," he said flatly. "Not a question. Just coffee. Just to talk." "Ethan." "What?" "You know what? You get that look. The one you had at 19, right before she wrecked you the first time." "I don't have a look. You've got the look right now." "I'm 27, Daniel. I'm not going to fall apart over a cup of coffee." "You didn't fall apart over coffee last time either." "It took her 4 years to actually do the damage." "Just go in careful. That's all I'm saying. I can handle one conversation." "That's what everyone says right before they can't. You've never even liked her." "I've never trusted her," Daniel said. "There's a difference. I liked her fine when we were kids. I just watched what she did to you, and I don't feel like watching it twice. This is just closure. That's all I want out of it." "Sure it is." I told him I would go in careful. I wasn't sure I meant it. The cafe was the same one we used to go to as teenagers, which I doubted was an accident. Mia picked it. Mia picked everything. Still, the same way she always had. She was already sitting when I walked in, and for one unfair second, my whole chest did something it hadn't done in years. Then she smiled at me the way you smile at someone you never lost. "You look good," she said, standing up like she was going to hug me. I sat down instead. She recovered fast, sliding back into her chair like the hug had been my idea in the first place. "Thanks," I said. "You look the same. Is that a good thing?" "It's just a thing." She laughed like I'd made a joke. I hadn't. "So," she said, wrapping both hands around her cup. "It's been a while." "For years." "Has it really been 4?" She said it like she was doing math for the first time, like the number surprised her. It didn't surprise me. I'd counted every one of them. "For years, 2 months," I said. "Give or take." "Wow." She shook her head, smiling. "Time really flies." Not from where I was standing. She missed that completely, or chose to. I got so caught up, Ethan. College was insane, and then the internship, and then everything with, well, it doesn't matter. Life just happened, you know? I figured you'd get it. You always got me. I called you for a year, Mia. I know, and I felt terrible about that. I really did. I just didn't know what to say. What do you even say after that much time passes? You could have said something. Anything. Instead, I got one text asking for space, and then nothing. I needed to figure myself out. I wasn't in a good place. I didn't want to drag you into that. So instead, you just left me standing in it. That's not fair, isn't it? She looked at me like I'd slapped her, which almost made me laugh, because in 4 years, I never once heard the word sorry come out of her mouth. Not once. She explained. She justified. She circled the thing without ever landing on it. "I'm here now," she said, softer, like that fixed something. "I came all this way to see you." "Why now, though?" "For years of nothing, and you show up on a random Tuesday. Does it matter why? I'm here. It matters to me." She reached across the table for my hand. I didn't move it away, but I didn't offer it either. "I missed you," she said. "I missed us. I know I handled things badly, but I always knew I'd come back to you eventually. Some part of me never stopped thinking about it." "You thought about it." "I lived it." "Ethan, I'm not saying this to be cruel. I'm saying it because you keep talking like I owe you the version of me that waited. That guy's not sitting here anymore." She pulled her hand back like it burned. "You've changed." "Yeah," I said. "I had to." We didn't say much after that. She talked about her new apartment, some job things she was vague about, people I didn't know. I nodded in the right places. I paid for my coffee and left before she finished hers, which she noticed and didn't like and didn't ask about either. Sophia caught it before I even sat down at my desk the next morning. "Okay, what happened?" she said, not even looking up from her monitor. "Nothing happened." You've got your nothing happened voice on. It's very convincing to people who don't know you. I almost smiled. It's that obvious? You've been staring at the same email for 10 minutes and haven't typed a word. I told her, in pieces, the way you tell someone something you're still sorting out yourself. The text, the coffee, the way Mia talked about the last 4 years like they were weather, something that had simply happened to her, not something she'd caused. Did she apologize? Sophia asked when I finished. No, not once. In the whole conversation. She explained a lot. She never said sorry. Sophia was quiet for a second, turning her coffee cup slowly on the desk. That's kind of telling, don't you think? An explanation means here's why I did it. An apology means I know it hurt you, and that matters to me. Those aren't the same thing. I know. Do you? Because you've got that face again. What face? The one that's already halfway to forgiving her. She said it gently, no judgment in it, just something close to concern. You don't have to decide anything today, Ethan. Just don't let her rewrite what happened before you've even figured out how you feel about it. I didn't answer right away, mostly because she was right, and I hated how much I needed someone to say it out loud. For what it's worth, Sophia said, finally looking up from her screen. The fact that you're even questioning it says a lot. The old you would have already made excuses for her by now. Is that a compliment? It's an observation. Take it however you want. She went back to her monitor, and I went back to my email. But something about the way she'd said it stuck with me for the rest of the day. Steady, unbothered, no performance in it at all. Just the truth, handed over plainly, like something I didn't know I needed. Mia showed up at my office on Thursday, holding 2 coffees like that was going to explain anything. I was in the area, she said, setting one on my desk before I could tell her not to. You don't live in this area? I do now. I got a place across town. I stared at her. You moved back? Here. I told you I was back. I thought you meant back in town for a visit. Not back. Would it really be so bad? She smiled like the question was cute instead of terrifying. I didn't answer. I didn't touch the coffee either. That should have been enough of a warning. It wasn't the last one. She started showing up at the coffee shop near my building. She started liking old photos of mine online, ones from years ago, the kind of thing that shows up as a notification and makes your stomach drop for no reason. She texted my old college roommate to ask how I was doing, like she needed a full report before approaching again. She asked about you. My roommate told me over the phone, sounding confused about why he was even involved. Wanted to know if you were seeing anyone. I didn't know what to say, so I just said I wasn't sure. You could have said none of her business. I didn't think of that fast enough. It was like she was circling, testing the perimeter before walking back in the front door like she'd never left. 2 days later, Grandma Ruth called me, practically glowing. Mia stopped by today. She brought me flowers, Ethan. She sat with me for an hour. She what? We had tea. She asked all about you, how you've been, what you've been up to. She seems so much more grown up now. Grandma, please don't let her back into the house. I'm not letting anyone do anything. I'm having tea with a girl who used to be practically family. She left me, Grandma, for 4 years. I know that, baby. I was there for all of it, remember? I'm not saying forget it. I'm saying she seemed sincere. She's always seemed sincere. That was never the problem. Grandma didn't have an answer for that, which worried me more than if she'd argued. Chris found me at lunch the next day, practically vibrating with something he clearly couldn't wait to say. Sit down, he said. I have to tell you something, and you're going to want to be sitting. That's an ominous start. You know Nathan Price? Should I? Rich guy? Real estate money. Mia was engaged to him. Like, actually engaged. Ring and everything. I set my sandwich down. Engaged. Was. Past tense. It fell apart about 2 months ago, right before she showed back up here. Why'd it fall apart? Chris leaned in like he'd been waiting his whole life to deliver this part. Nathan found her phone. Found 4 years of texts to some guy named Ethan. Late night stuff. Not cheating exactly, but emotional. Like she was keeping you on standby the whole time she was building a life with him. I felt something in my chest go cold and very still. She texted me during that whole engagement? According to my source, yeah. Every time things got rocky with Nathan, guess who she'd message? I never got those texts. Maybe she never sent them. Maybe she just wrote them and deleted them before hitting send. Doesn't matter. Nathan found drafts, found old messages, found enough to know you were her emergency exit. He called off the wedding on the spot. I sat there letting that settle. She hadn't just left me for a life that didn't include me. She'd kept me folded up in her back pocket the entire time, in case that life ever fell apart. Insurance. That's all I'd ever been to her, even from 4 hours and 4 years away. You okay? Chris asked. She left me for someone else's future, and she kept me as a backup plan in case that future didn't work out. Yeah, that's about the size of it. That's not heartbreak. That's just being used twice. I figured you'd want to know before she tried to spin it herself. Better you hear it from me than from her, with all the details filed off. Thanks. I think. Don't thank me. Just don't let her talk her way around this one. She's good at that part. Chris didn't argue with the rest of it, and honestly, there wasn't much left to argue. The next call I got was worse. Mr. Bennett, Mia's father, A man I hadn't spoken to in years called me that same evening, his voice smooth in a way that made my skin crawl a little. Ethan, it's been a long time. Mr. Bennett. I'll get right to it. Mia told me things between you two have been tense. Tense is one word for it. She's had a hard year. This thing with Nathan, it wasn't easy on her. She needs stability right now, and I think you could offer her that, if you were willing to be reasonable. Reasonable. You two have history. Real history. I'd hate to see pride get in the way of something that could still work. With respect, sir, I don't think you know what happened between us. I know enough. I know she made mistakes. I also know people deserve second chances, especially people who love each other. She didn't ask me for a second chance. She asked me to pretend the first 4 years didn't happen. There was a pause on the line, long enough that I understood something clearly for the first time. This was where Mia had learned it. Not the leaving, the expecting. The quiet certainty that love was owed back the moment it was asked for, no matter how long you'd made someone wait for it. Think about it, Mr. Bennett said, and hung up before I could tell him I already had. Mia was waiting outside my building when I got home Friday night, arms crossed against the cold like she'd been standing there a while. We need to talk, she said. Really talk. Not coffee shop small talk. It's late, Mia. It's always going to be something with you. Late, busy, tired. I think you're just avoiding this. Maybe because every time we talk, it goes the same way. Then let's make it go a different way. She stepped closer. I want to try again. Us. For real this time. I almost laughed, except nothing about her face was joking. Try again. Yes. Just like that. Why does it have to be complicated? We loved each other. We still could. I came back for you. Ethan, doesn't that count for something? You came back because your engagement fell apart. Her face changed, fast, like I'd hit a nerve she didn't know was exposed. That's not fair. Is it not true? It's not the whole truth. Fine. Tell me the whole truth. She didn't. She stood there with her mouth open like the words weren't coming, and I realized she'd never actually planned for this part, the part where I asked her to be honest instead of convincing. I don't have to explain every detail to you. You don't have to do anything. But if you want me to believe this is real and not just panic because your life didn't turn out the way you planned, honesty would help. That's cruel. It's not cruel, it's a request. You've had 4 years to figure out what you actually want. I'd like to hear it, instead of watching you circle it. I want you, she said quieter now. That's what I want. Is that so hard to believe? I don't think you know what wanting someone actually costs. You've never had to pay for it. I don't understand you anymore. You used to fight for us. You used to be the one who wouldn't let go no matter what. Now I'm standing here asking, and you're just cold. You've changed. She said it like an accusation. Like changing was a betrayal, and staying exactly the same, frozen at 19 and waiting for her, would have been the loyal thing to do. Something in me finally cracked open. You're right, I said. I changed. You want to know how? Ethan. No, you asked. So let me answer. My voice was steady, which surprised me, because everything underneath it wasn't. I waited 3 years for a text that never came. 3 years, Mia. Not weeks. Not months. 3 years of checking my phone like an idiot every single day, hoping today was the day you remembered I existed. I told you I needed space. You told me that once. One text. And then nothing, for 3 years, while I sat here trying to figure out if you were dead or just done with me. Nobody tells you which one it is. You just have to guess. I didn't mean for it to be that long. It doesn't matter what you meant. It happened. I grieved you, Mia. Not missed you, grieved you. Like you died. I went through actual stages of it. Denial, anger, all of it. My grandma had to sit me down and tell me to stop setting a plate for a ghost. Her eyes were wet now, but I didn't stop, because I'd been carrying this for 4 years and I was done carrying it quietly. So yeah, I changed. The version of me that would have dropped everything the second you texted. He's gone. He didn't get bored and wander off. You killed him. Slowly, over 3 years of silence, one unanswered call at a time. And now you're standing here mad that I won't hand you the guy you buried. I never meant to hurt you like that. I know. That's almost worse. You didn't even think about it enough to mean it. She wiped her face, and for once, she didn't have a comeback ready. We just stood there, the quiet stretching out between us, heavier than anything either of us had said. That's when my apartment door opened behind me, and Lily came barreling out in socks, clutching a half-finished puzzle box to her chest. Uncle Ethan, I can't find the piece with the dog's ear. I've looked everywhere. Daniel said you're good at puzzles. Will you help? I looked down at her, 7 years old, completely oblivious to the storm she'd just walked into, holding up a cardboard box like it was the most urgent thing in the world. Yeah, Munchkin, I said, my voice cracking a little on the softness of it. Give me 1 second. Lily glanced at Mia, then back at me, sensing something without understanding it, the way kids do. Is everything okay? Everything's fine, I told her. Go set the puzzle up. I'll be right there. She disappeared back inside, and I turned back to Mia. Something in me settled now that hadn't been settled a minute ago. I have to go help with the puzzle, I said. Ethan, please, can we just? There's nothing left to say tonight, Mia. I already said the part that mattered. I went inside and closed the door gently behind me, and for the first time all week, my chest didn't feel like it was holding its breath. I found Lily cross-legged on the living room floor, puzzle pieces scattered around her like scattered stars. I found the dog's ear already, she announced, holding up a tiny cardboard piece triumphantly. I didn't even need you. Then why'd you call for me? She shrugged, the way only a 7-year-old can shrug, like the answer was obvious. Because puzzles are more fun with someone. I sat down across from her on the floor, picked up a piece, and turned it over in my hands. Simple. Uncomplicated. She wanted my company, not my devotion measured against 4 years of silence. She wasn't keeping score. She wasn't circling anything. Okay, I said. Show me what we're working with. For the next hour, that's all it was. A dog-shaped puzzle, a 7-year-old narrating every piece like it was a discovery, and me, finally breathing easy for the first time in days. Mia knocked on my door Sunday afternoon, holding a shoebox like it was some kind of peace offering. 5 minutes, she said. That's all I'm asking. I should have said no. Instead, I stepped aside and let her in, mostly because I wanted this to actually end, and endings need a final scene. She sat on my couch and opened the shoebox like it was fragile. Photographs. Us at 14, at 16, at the lake house the summer before she left. She pulled one out and held it toward me. The two of us grinning, sunburned, arms slung around each other like nothing could touch us. Remember this? She said. You were so happy that day. I remember it. We were happy, Ethan. That was real. All of it was real. I never said it wasn't. She pulled out another photo, then another, narrating each one. A birthday, a school dance, a rainy afternoon we spent inside building a blanket fort. Her voice got softer with each one, like she thought if she stacked enough memories on the table, the weight of them would change my mind. Look at us here, she said, holding up one more. You were so sure about us back then. No doubts at all. I was 17. Certainty's easy at 17. You haven't been disappointed enough yet to know better. And now you have. Now I have. Doesn't this mean anything to you anymore? It means what it always meant. It's just not what you're trying to make it mean now. Which is what? You're not showing me these because you miss the boy in them. You're showing me because you want him back, and this is the closest you can get. She set the photo down, quiet for a second. Is that so wrong? Wanting something good back? No. But you can't get back a version of me you buried 4 years ago. That boy's gone, Mia. I told you that already. So what? We just throw all this away. We're not throwing anything away. It happened. It mattered. I'm not pretending it didn't. But closure doesn't mean getting back together. It means finally being okay with how it ended. That's convenient. Deciding you're at peace right when I show up wanting more. I didn't decide it because you showed up. I got there over 4 years, one really hard day at a time. You just happened to walk in after I finished the work. She looked at me for a long moment, like she was waiting for the anger to show up, some crack she could work with. It didn't come. I hope things go well for you, I said, and I meant it, which seemed to unsettle her more than if I'd yelled. I mean that. I hope Nathan, or whoever comes next, treats you the way you deserve. I hope you figure out what you actually want instead of chasing whatever slipped away. You're not even angry. I was. For a long time. I'm not anymore. She started gathering the photos back into the shoebox, her hands slower than they needed to be, like she was hoping I'd stop her. I didn't. I guess this is it then, she said at the door. I guess it is. She left without the dramatic exit I half expected. No last plea, no tears, just a quiet walk down the hallway and the soft click of the elevator. I stood there a second longer than I needed to, waiting to feel something enormous. It didn't come. Just a kind of stillness, clean and unfamiliar, Like a room after you finally throw out something broken you'd kept for no reason. I understood something then that I hadn't let myself understand before. Healing was never going to feel like getting her back. It was going to feel like this, like not needing her back at all. My phone buzzed on the counter. Sophia. Hey, she said when I picked up. Just checking in. How'd it go? She came by. Brought old photos. Tried the whole nostalgia thing. And I told her closure isn't reunion. Then she left. How do you feel? I actually thought about it before answering, turning the question over instead of rushing past it. Lighter. Actually lighter. Good, Sophia said, and I could hear the smile in it. You want company? I was about to order too much Thai food for one person. Yeah, I said. I'd like that. I hung up and stood in my kitchen for a moment, and it hit me. I hadn't spent 1 second of that conversation comparing her to Mia. Not once. It wasn't a contrast anymore. It was just Sophia, steady and simple, asking if I wanted dinner. That was the difference, I realized. Mia had always felt like something I had to chase, hold on to, wait for. Sophia never asked me to wait for anything. She just showed up, plainly, exactly when she said she would. I grabbed my keys off the counter and headed for the door, and for the first time in 4 years, I wasn't walking away from anything. I was just walking towards something new, quietly, without needing it to be a big deal at all.